The United States of America, just a few months ago, our economy was the envy of the world. And then tens of millions of dumbass Americans just had to go vote for a convicted felon. They just had to do it because they were too scared to vote for a competent, educated, brilliant Black woman. And guess what we have now? We have Donald Trump and his nimwit, untreated drug addict, Elon Musk, running around, ripping up the country, tanking the economy. But there is a little bit of good news. The Musk brand is now completely poisoned, and the data shows this. Kylie, play the clip.
Analyst Harry Enton is here. Let's start with a little bit of Wisconsin, right? On a moose-boosh on Wisconsin. This was a race. Elon Musk spent big in this race to sway the Supreme Court race there. And he also went to Wisconsin, which may, honestly, have backfired.
Yeah, I think it may have backfired. Look, I think if there's one thing we should be taking away from the results in Wisconsin and the polling that we have from Wisconsin and national, if you are a Republican candidate running in a swing state, you don't want Elon Musk anywhere near you. Yes, maybe you like the money, but you do not want his presence in your state. Why is that? Elon Musk, simply put, is an unpopular guy. He is political poison. Look in Wisconsin, his net favorable rating, minus 12 points, 12 points underwater. That is an even worse number when you look nationally. Look at that. It's minus 17 points. So if there's one big lesson to take away from Wisconsin is Elon Musk does not help Republicans when he shows up. If anything, the data suggests that he hurts them. Republicans, stay clear of Elon Musk if you want to win in a swing state, at least in terms of his physical appearance in your state.
All right, what do
Political poison. And I say Republicans, trot him out.
Trot him out.
Take him everywhere you go. Have him put on his little black, dark MAGA hat and pop up some herkies and some back tucks.
Get your chainsaw and go. Okay, here's my question for you. And I'm really interested in the answer. He has such an ego and he's such a narcissist. Do you think he would be able to stay away? Or do you think his meltdown includes going and sabotaging unwittingly all of these swing state Republicans?
You know, I don't know. I mean, the one thing that always amazes me about MAGA and the movement itself is the perseverance of it.
Right.
Like, they'll start talking themselves into, well, I started campaigning with Trump on the campaign trail and we won big. You know, they'll always find a way to talk themselves out of it. They'll always put some sort of spin on this. And so in a normal political world and a normal narcissist, which I think a lot of politicians are as a default setting, I would say, you know, no. But with these guys, you know, they think they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof and immune from any form of, you know, critique or constructive criticism. And so I don't know. I keep thinking, is he going to bottom out? And we're going to go to rehab soon. But again, he's a multi-billionaire. And so oftentimes people that are this toxic are surrounded by enablers. And I think that's the whole Trump administration. All right, next up. We have some other members of Trump's cabinet, and I just think it's always fun to point out what breathtaking, diabolical, nimwit hypocrites they are. Put up this. Okay, what Trump's picks once said about Trump. J.D. Vance, America's Hitler. Marco Rubio, he's a con artist. RFK Jr., sociopath. Pete Hegseth, armchair tough guy. Tulsi Gabbard even chimed in. Saudi Arabia's bitch. And Elise Stefanik called him a whack job. And I just think this is the most pathetic thing on the planet. The one thing that gets in my craw more than anything on the planet are obvious, blatant hypocrites that play both sides, believe in something and die on that hill. That's why I would far more be have even respect is probably the wrong word, but I get Mike Lindell more than I do these people. He's been crazy since he came out of the womb. He loved Donald Trump the minute he descended from the escalator, and he's never tried to say anything different. He would die for that man. He lost his entire income for that man. These people are grotesque opportunist with no spine. And these are the most insidious, grossest types of people on the planet. And the cabinet represents tens of millions of Americans who have said the same thing, yet they went to the voting booth and triple trumped it.
And then they lied about it.
Yep.
People lied about voting for Trump. I look at that list and I think you have sold your soul. You only care about your self-interest and power. You don't give a shit about your constituents. And all of these people have been elected officials. Why people vote for these people that have no conviction like you, it's jaw-dropping, but they do. And MAGA has made currency out of hypocrisy, about saying one thing and doing the exact opposite with zero consequences and zero accountability. It proves one thing: karma is not real.
But don't you think that they vote for people like this because they are like that?
Absolutely. They've exposed a whole sect of the population.
Many of the people that I know that are acquaintances, not really friends, but acquaintances that have voted for Trump are exactly like that list. When the winds change after January 6th, you hear them saying terrible things. And then the winds change again and they're like, oh shit, I can't vote for a black woman. And then they're right back on the Trump train. And that is every Trumper that I personally know. When it was the time to jump on the bandwagon, to have an ounce of moral clarity, they did. But it was all fake, because at the end of the day, Trump serves them what's in their heart, and that is being mean to the people that they hate, and they feast on it, and it's so dangerous. Next up, okay, so y'all know Trump did this bananas, tank the economy, stupid tariff thing that not an economist alive, Republican, Democratic, conservative, or liberal, thinks is a good idea. But the MAGA manosphere thinks he's playing, 5D chess. And so if Trump is just this genius, he does the tariffs, then he goes to Mar-a-Lago to play golf immediately while people are watching their 401k's tank. And then on the back end of that, maybe they're thinking they'll want Social Security. Well, Elon Musk is making sure to screw that up. So what is this 5D chess player? What does he say that once the economy starts tanking? On Truth Lie or Lie Social, he says, caps lock, the operation is over. The patient lived and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before. Make America great again. What does he think? He's fucking Frankenstein? This is a fun experiment for him, for sport, to fuck with people's lives?
Well, he's like, oh, the operation's over. You're the one that put the country in the hospital. You're the one that made us require surgery. Your tariffs tanked an economy that was the envy of the world when you took office. So don't sit here and talk about Liberation Day and all that bullshit. You don't care. You want the oligarchy to be richer. You're corrupt. Go fuck yourself with your cap locks.
All right. Next up. So in MAGA, they're really running out of things to talk about. We all know podcaster Tim Pool was on Vladimir Putin's payroll. And so now they're engaging in what's called orange denialism. Put up this tweet. Here we have Tim Pool saying, whoa, on CNN, Trump is orange. On Fox, he isn't. This is the scam. Holy shit. And so he's put this up, and imagine that this is all you have left to talk about, to try to keep people into this. Trump being a victim. Now of allegedly CNN putting more of an orange filter on him. And that millions of people would think, can you believe CNN is being so mean to Trump and making him more orange?
What's so crazy is people don't believe their eyes anymore. They believe what somebody tells them, even when all the facts are to the contrary. And I go back to what we were talking about earlier in this episode. Tim Pool, he was on Russia's payroll. We know that. That is a fact. But MAGA still listens to him. It's like, oh, well, I want to hear what he has to say. Never connecting the dots that it's propaganda from Putin. Like, they never take it over the finish line.
Because they're pro-Russia.
Apparently, but these are the same people that are the pro-Reagan national security.
Not so much anymore.
Well, no, they've totally flipped.
Yeah. I mean, the Putin propaganda campaign that he started, I remember it was, it was during the election between Biden and Trump, the 2020.
Right.
And there were guys, these old men, that I'm sure voted for Reagan. They were boomers, and they had on shirts, and they just thought they were a real knee slapper that said, I would rather be Russian than Democrat. A Democrat. And so but they are unapologetically pro-Putin and pro-Russia now. I mean, I had a conversation that I've talked to you all about with a woman who is a grandmother in Oklahoma City that is 100% in the tank for Putin. They are absolutely pro-Putin and anti-EU now. Millions of Americans. So they feast on this because they agree with him, because they've been completely radicalized into this. And I just don't think they're very smart to begin with or have any moral clarity to begin with, a lot of these MAGA people. All right. And lastly, while all this fuckery is going on, the orange skin scandal and Trump caps locking, we have real journalists that do real things. And here we have Thomas Friedman, who cuts through it. And I want to read this to you all from this New York Times article because I think it's very important. It's downright scary to watch this close up. President Trump is focused on what teams American transgender athletes can race on, and China is focused on transforming its factories with AI so it can outrace all other factories. Trump's Liberation Day strategy is to double down on tariffs while gutting our national scientific institutions and workforce that spur U.S. innovation. China's liberation strategy is to open more research campuses and double down on AI-driven innovation to be permanently liberated from Trump's tariffs. And here you have it. You know, a lot of these stupid MAGA people, they're in love with a personality that hates what they hate, and under the guise that they love America and that he loves America. Meanwhile, we were positioned with the best, like you said, the strongest economy in the world. And they are doing this for sport because he wants everybody, all of these American businessmen, to kiss the ring. And here's what just amazes me about all of these wealthy people that are all Trumpers. This guy's not a spring chicken.
Right.
He's not going to live that much longer. I mean, 10 years would be a total stretch. Let's give it 5. So Musk, you have $500 billion. Trump's, he's sold all of his rackets, his meme coin. He's got billions of dollars. Bezos, Tim Cook. Is this what y'all want to do with your money? Is just, blast all these working class people? You don't want to do anything good in the world. You don't want to help your country. You want to help tear it down for the ego of a man who has an echo chamber that is now arguing if his makeup is orange or not.
Right. Well, and interestingly enough, my guess is if you put truth serum in all these oligarchs, they think Trump is a complete useful idiot, dipshit. They have no respect for him. That would be my guess, because he was handed everything. He's lost everything. Heaven only knows where he got the money to continue on, because he's filed bankruptcy 6 times, bankrupted a casino.
From Russia.
Right.
Right.
So you have to know these men think I can use him for my best interest. They don't have any respect for him.
And how diabolical is that?
How diabolical. Go on your billion-dollar yacht and enjoy your life.
Go do something good. I mean, you won at capitalism. You won. And, one thing I'll have to say about Warren Buffett is he says all the time, like, I have too much money. This is ridiculous. So he's pledged to give away 99% of his wealth. And you have all of these Christians in the red states, and don't freak out in the audience. I'm talking about these evangelical Christians that sit and worship money and rich people. And it's just really gross. It is the real sin of American culture that you have people that worship money over human beings so much, and will die on that hill. All right, subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 1 million subs, and we'll see you all later.